Completely honestly. Do you even have a gram of spiritual ego or any falseness in that smile of yours? Back then? Or had you really forgiven him? Completely.
I had really forgiven him.
How long did you keep faking your life, even when everyone was applauding you?
Back then I had a rough patch, like during COVID, literally everything fell apart for me and I didn't know where to go next or what kind of videos to make. Did I even want to keep doing YouTube at all? It's a big adventure, people don't realize that.
Hello, Stoyan, your debut book is a fact. Behind every written page, there's an invisible story that no one suspects. Today we'll talk exactly about that. We'll talk about the man Stoyan, who took more than 3 years to shed his own illusions so that the touch of reality could become a fact. We'll talk about the price of being genuine. In the book, you admit that you started your career. Fakaweka played Fédération Internationale de Football Association with Capo d'Aster later at the height of his fame. You feel like you're, I quote, in shoes that don't fit you. How long did you keep faking your life, even when everyone was applauding you?
Wow, well, yes, that's really how it is. When I first started recording for Fédération Internationale de Football Association Capo d'Astera in music circles, it's called capo. And that's a thing that clamps onto the guitar neck and allows you to play in different keys. That's how it was. I would clamp one of those early touch screen phones with that big clip and record my excitement. I wanted to play and record myself simultaneously, but I hadn't reached that editing level yet. I didn't have the software either, and for a long time, maybe around 30 episodes, 30 or 40 videos, maybe even more, I just kept recording. I would also create reactions for myself, like when I scored, when I lost, and then later I would transfer that. When I took part in the biggest music tour in Bulgaria, I actually realized that my place wasn't there. I thought, what am I doing there? I don't have a musical education, and in no way can I compare myself to all those people who are there. And yet, people were chanting my name, my songs had millions of views, and I was on the same level as those people. For me, that was something huge. At one of the concerts in the big cities, I just felt that I didn't belong there. As I was stepping onto the stage, people were chanting my name, and I walked through this path with so many eyes on me. Then I gathered around me people from backstage, other acquaintances, just faces. And the way they looked at me then made me feel quite ashamed of what I was doing and what I had done. And somehow I felt that what I was going out to present was not really me, even though I liked my songs and actually the performance itself was good. But the moment I stepped off stage, I will never forget that moment. From those 10 minutes I had, I told myself I would never do this again. Back then, I used to tell stories about famous people and I was actually searching for my own path. I mean, I was inspired by different videos online, different ways of speaking. I was just searching for how to do it. You could say I was learning in this thing. Back then, I didn't read as many books as I watched different people. And I copied the ways they spoke, the mannerisms they used, the questions they asked. I was searching, fumbling around, and then that ended. It was somewhere around before the start of COVID, that's when it ended.
The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung calls this mask the persona, the social avatar that the soul creates to survive in three-dimensional reality. In the ancient Vedic texts, this concept is known as Maya, the great illusion of the material world. But what exactly is the ego? Modern quantum psychology does not view it as an enemy, but as a neurological interface. It is the software that translates the infinite potential of the source into a limited human experience. Eckhart Tolle describes the ego as a survival mechanism based on the past and the future. But when we awaken to the fact that we are not the role, but the quantum observer behind it, the rules change. We realize that we are that center of consciousness experiencing the game. The mask stops being our prison and becomes a tool. We are no longer lost in the illusion, we become its creators.
Back then I had a hole, like during COVID. Literally everything fell apart for me and I didn't know where to go or what kind of videos to make at all. I still wanted to do YouTube because it's a big adventure. People just don't realize that it's been 11 years now and every week you're not exactly forced, but you keep thinking about what to broadcast, what to do. And when it's been your whole life, not just a specific part of your life, let's say investing in apartments and filming the whole process from idea to completion, then everything is dynamic. You change, a lot of things happen to you. You have to decide what you want or don't want to share, and what you're ready or not ready for.
We're heading out. Picho is here. I'm with Tomi. We're starting the journey together. Our luggage is here and we're waiting for Arti to come pick us up. We're heading to Vidin. Most likely you'll see this the next day or the day after, depending on where and how I manage to edit them. Don't get upset if it's not exactly the next day.
That same flood might be connected to the biblical flood, which is mentioned by every culture around the world. A bit further south on the tropical island of Mauritius, more evidence of an ancient continent has been found.
You talk about reaching the peak of fame, and at the same time you write that you felt terrified by people's opinions, that you started to read their thoughts on their faces with which they wanted to hurt you. That sounds like being on the edge of madness. How does someone come back from such an abyss, and where did this panic fear of failure even come from?
That takes me back to my first encounters with my first teacher, the person who introduced me to spirituality. I will keep his name anonymous. Just before I met him, I had similar thoughts when I was walking most often on Vitosha in Sofia. I really had that fear because I knew people recognized me and I was very worried about it. All the looks you get, you can see it when they notice you, when they know who you are, and usually they're in groups. You try to keep your composure, you try to read their minds or keep a good tone, but you actually know that's not enough. And at least for me, that was a big concern. At the same time, many times, since I lived alone for quite a while in Sofia, I had a real fear that I would end up on the street, become homeless, and really have nothing to eat. That was a very serious fear for me, that none of this would work out because it's not a secure job. No one gives you an education for this, it's not in the textbooks. And yet, here we are 11 years later. It's really something serious. I would just give as advice, yes, this is a big trick of the brain, and immediately find something else to latch onto and not pay attention to it. At least that's what I did. That's when the show's hidden reality and you've never heard the story were born, and so on.
You're telling how you found yourself, but it's like you left a lifeline to the past. The name Choco is still on the cover. That pseudonym is connected to your old life of entertainment and show business. Are you afraid to completely let go of your old image, or are you just using an algorithm?
If I have to be completely honest, I'm afraid, yes, because that's really all I've been associated with up until now. Back in the day, I was known as Choka Parliaka, then Choka Parliaka became Choco. After that, little by little, I started using my own name, and now we're at the stage of Stoyan Valkov Choco. It's connected to many special moments for me, moments that have brought me here. And actually, that's how I see it. Of course, the general audience knows me as Choco, and that's never really been a problem for me. But I rather expect that over time it might transform and disappear. For now, I'm at this stage standing on both bridges.
You talk a lot about forgiveness and mirrors, and you tell the story about the YouTuber who brought you down in front of 600,000 people, and how years later you ran into him at the mall and honestly thanked him. Do you have even a gram of spiritual ego or falseness in that smile of yours? Back then, had you truly forgiven him, or was it not true at all?
I had forgiven him 100%. The meeting was very spontaneous. I didn't expect it at all. We were coming home for Christmas, for the holidays, and we went shopping for gifts for the family. And when that happened, that's when my initial reaction came out, the one that would get triggered inside me back then. My true heart, the goodness in me, the thing I've always wanted to show people in each one of us. It happened very naturally, and I didn't even have time to turn on my brain and think, It was just a meter away, so it was very natural and the real thing was unlocked from me. I'm very happy about it. I will never forget this moment because he was very surprised by this reaction. And I actually realized that the moment I told him, I realized what I had said to him.
And did you feel a certain way back then?
I felt free. Whatever was weighing on me just lifted and I just felt free, like I was in the right place.
Can a single emotion change physical reality? Research from the HeartMath Institute in California has conclusively proven that the human heart is not just a pump, but a powerful oscillator. It generates an electromagnetic field that is up to 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. When a person feels genuine gratitude and complete acceptance, this field enters a state of heart coherence. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains this phenomenon through neuroplasticity. Gratitude signals to the body that the event has already happened, rewriting both our neural networks and our genetic code. According to the famous Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins, gratitude and forgiveness vibrate at a frequency of 540 Hz. This is the frequency of unconditional love and miracles. Forgiveness releases a colossal amount of quantum energy that was blocked by the resistance of trauma and returns it back into our torsion field in order to create a new reality.
While I am writing with great pleasure about the touch of reality. The tour also started and the first 3 cities, which are Sliven, Janbol and Burgas in Sliven. You are welcome to the library at the Zora Community Center on Friday, April 3rd from 5 to 7 post-meridium in Janbol. We are coming the next day to the Saglasi Community Center, that is Saturday. 44 from 4 to 6 post-meridium and after that. People of Burgas, I can't wait to see you at the Burgas Congress Center on Palm Sunday, April 5th Sunday from 11:30 ante meridium to 3 post meridium. We are having the official presentation of the book, a meeting with all of you, time for autographs, for personal messages, for an unforgettable interaction. Thank you. Every week from now on, we will announce the next cities on the tour. See you soon.
This book took you over 3 years. Were there moments when you wanted to erase everything because you felt that you yourself were not yet living 100% according to the principles you describe? Did you write it to save others, or did you need to save yourself?
I started writing it to save others, but halfway through the book, I realized that was an illusion. There's no way you can tell anyone how to live their life no matter how much you want to. Sometimes when you learn something, you want to immediately tell someone so they can see it and say, wow, I was really mistaken. It's so good that you told me. But it doesn't work that way. And I deleted about 7 chapters or 70% of the entire book I had written. And I started over telling myself that I would simply start getting up very early. And the first thought, since we know from science that the brain is most active in the morning and can absorb the most information and is the most creative. And I told myself, okay, I'll use this in the morning, I'll get up and just write from the heart. Later, I even called this concept intuitive channeling. In this way, for a very long time, maybe about a month and a half every day, on a small tablet, on an app, where there are no distractions, I just started writing. They became some notes, and these notes later became the foundation, actually, of the new book that I created, because I had a very solid foundation, but before that it sounded more like an attempt at a textbook or something like that. And at one point I added my heart, I added what I feel, what I have experienced while all these things were happening to me, because I have changed a lot. The person I used to be, there's no way you can stay the same after you've realized and processed so much information. And when I truly shared this, that's when a touch of reality was born, and now I'm very happy. That's how it happened. I don't really remember the exact question anymore.
But whether you wrote it to save others or not?
No, not anymore. That's what's written in the book. That's an illusion. We can only extend an invitation.
In the book, you claim that we create our own reality through our focus. What do you say to someone who is going through a terrible tragedy, a serious illness, or the loss of a loved one? Do you tell them they brought it upon themselves? Where is the line between being a creator of your reality and lacking empathy?
Nothing stops one from going with the other. Empathy is a very specific feeling. Usually, when a person develops their sensitive abilities, they automatically become much more empathetic. And I've noticed this in all the people around us and those I communicate with personally at meetings. In fact, they start to notice people much more, for example, when they're in line at the supermarket with 78 people. They sense how they feel, they sense how tense they are, they feel the tension much more, they even sense what they're thinking. Some of them...
Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Today, quantum biology already has evidence for this. The German biophysicist Fritz Albert Popp discovered that human DNA constantly emits particles of light called biophotons. Through them, we invisibly communicate with everything around us. When two people come close to each other, their electromagnetic fields begin to interact at a distance of about 1.5 meters. The Russian scientist Konstantin Korotkov even managed to capture this energy exchange using the gas discharge visualization method. That's why words often don't matter. Our systems pick up a person's authentic frequency from the moment we meet, long before they start speaking. We are walking transmitters of information, and every encounter, every revealed emotion or intention creates waves that rub against the fields of others and change the collective network.
When we talk about this type of people, sometimes it's again related to the previous question, wandering around trying to save others. You don't need to take on the role of a teacher or someone who knows more in every situation. That's what I realized about myself. You can simply stand by the person and feel, accept part of their pain. You don't have to immediately point out their suffering. Or, you did this yourself, now deal with the consequences. Which is true globally, right? Here is the big paradox. We are a sum of our causes and effects, and that's inevitable. Each one of us is exactly where we want to be, whether we admit it or not. From where our thoughts are at the moment, the other question is whether we've realized what our thoughts are right now. And the truth is, he himself, no one else put that food in his mouth. Sometimes we witness circumstances that seem strange and that we didn't bring them upon ourselves and we just happen to become victims of the circumstances, but I don't believe in that. If we truly realize that we are all energy, then everything that comes to us should be something we can handle. And if we refuse to deal with what has come to us as a challenge, as a problem to be solved, it means we refuse to access, to tap into all the potential that is within us. There are millions of examples of this, because in the book I gave an example of mothers who suddenly, out of nowhere, gain tremendous strength and lift a car to save their child, about people who break Guinness records in crisis situations and become like Superman. In other words, we have this hidden potential within us. And for me, this is a paradox for people who feel this way as they choose to maintain the state of being a victim. There have been such cases around me, and actually, as stupid or strange as it may sound, in my opinion, they just like it that way.
But still, if we're talking about, for example, someone close to you or a friend, how do you react towards them?
What I would do is at first offer them another option. But you can see it when a person just goes from one thing that comes up to another, and you realize that there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can only be there for them, and that's it, really. The harder part is for us to learn to accept this, to respect that person's free choice, that this is what they have chosen.
In the entire multidimensional universe, there exists one absolute and indestructible principle, the law of free will. In the well-known channeled texts known as the raw material or the law of one, free will is described as the first manifestation of the infinite creator. No being, whether a spiritual guide or an extraterrestrial intelligence, has the right to interfere with our development without our permission. Researchers of regression hypnosis like Michael Newton and Dolores Cannon have proven through thousands of sessions that every soul makes sacred contracts before incarnating on earth. But here lies the real magic. When we realize the game of existence, we gain the power to rewrite our story. We choose our own traumas, encounters, and illusions in order to overcome them. Even when we suffer or wander in the dark, the universe stands by our side, in absolute humility and respect for our choices, because it is through our right to make mistakes that we evolve. Free will is the greatest gift and the greatest responsibility of the Creator within us.
I'm also learning not to just say things to please others. As I speak, I realize I still have much to learn, but that's what the channel is for.
The process continues.
That's how it is, and that's the end.
If 15-year-old Stoyan, who is riding the bus and listening to Earl Nightingale's audio tape in 2014, could sit here now across from you, what would you tell him? And would he recognize the man you've become from today?
You're getting married, my friend, huh? Listen to this tape, man. And as it says in it, play it often, gather your whole family and listen, because in it is everything you need.
Just keep going and don't be afraid to express yourself, to share your opinion and your position, and don't rush to have a decision. Think carefully. Count to 10. Take a breath, do 1, 2, even 5 laps around the rowing base if you need to. Then decide and say what you want. You just function differently and that's okay, and you deserve everything that's happening to you. And if people like this format, maybe next time we can talk in more detail about that. Why do we all live behind masks? What controls us? What does the mask we wear actually mean? Whether we call it social or personal, and what is the way out?
Thank you.
I see, thank you.